Greetings, viewers. It is I, Lucy Scary, and wait, it's the wrong intro. It goes, greetings, listeners. It is I, Lucy Scary, aka Sarah Truly, and welcome to the Overseers podcast. Maybe I'll turn the gains down a little bit. So I have realized the flaw in my absolutely brilliant plan of filming this podcast in my car, which is that it is hot. It is summer and it is 82 degrees outside right now. So I have simply rolled down the windows, but because we are in the forest, you get the lovely sound of cicadas that are just very loud. I do not know if they are this loud on the recording, but they are extremely loud in here. Also, you do get the occasional sound of, cars passing by, which is fine. We're just gonna pretend like it's medieval times and we have gathered around the forest, pretend that we are gathering around the campfire. Pretend that there are definitely campfire sounds. Maybe I'll add some like crackling in the background. That'll be fun. Get some ambiance up in here. And I'm just telling you a story. So the backstory to this podcast is that somebody on Tumblr said that they would listen to a podcast of me just talking about my characters, and I was like, dope, I'm gonna do that now. So here we are. No, but so for real, the reason that, so for those of you who don't know, I have a big, long story called The Overseers, which is just so impossibly long, because I did not make this story as, a story. Well, okay, so I created the story in 2014, and back then I wanted to be a writer, and I was just looking for a story that, I could commit to and I didn't drop, because I had a really bad habit of coming up with stories and being like, it's going to be a trilogy, it's going to be a novel, it's going to be several novels, it's going to be a whole universe, and then I'd write the first 2 chapters and then I get bored and drop it. And I was looking for a story that I didn't get bored of after 2 months, and for some reason, no matter what story I made up, I could never do that. Anyways, but then I had this friend, we'll call her Rin, and our family would have, families over for Wednesday night Bible study or whatever. And the kids would just all go back in the back room. And Rin had this huge world that she had created with her sister. And it was so complicated that when she first was telling me about it, and also they would use characters from Camp Half-Blood and I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Avengers or that universe. But it was so complicated that when she was telling me about the story, I literally thought she was just describing the plot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I want to say it was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but this was also 2014. Has Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. been around that long? I don't know. Also, this is me unedited, so you're gonna get all of my ums and goofs and hopefully not too long of awkward pauses. I'll try to cut. If I need to stop and think, I'll just pause it. Hopefully, I don't know if this is gonna work. This is a test run. Anyways, back to the story. I used to love to listen to my friend Rin just telling me about her OCs. I would literally just sit there and play Temple Run on my phone, and I would just listen to her talk about her story for hours. And I was so captivated by this story, and I was like, I wish I could create a story that was that complicated and had that many characters and that many storylines. And then I came up with The Overseers. And now it is so gigantic and long and huge. And when I was 16, I decided I loved the story so much that I wanted to turn it into TV shows. But the story has gotten so far away from me that I could never hope to tell every single one of these obscure character storylines in my writing. Because basically what I do, I have this bad habit in my writing where I go, okay, well, I need this character. So my character, Ambition, I'm like, okay, he's the big baddie. I'm just gonna create him. Oh no, now I love him. Now he has a big, huge, complicated backstory. Let me make up, well, he's gotta have parents, right? And so I make up his parents, and I give them the name, Infinity. Oh no, now I love Infinity, and Infinity's got this big, terribly extravagant backstory. And so it just keeps on spiraling, and there's just characters that it's I love this character. I've spent way too much time on this character's backstory, and I'm making that everybody's problem. So I thought it would be fun to just kind of recreate, 14-year-old me listening to my friend talk about her story while I play Temple Run in this sort of podcast. So, my little sister the other day was playing Temple Run, and I was like, you can still download that app. So if y'all want to fully commit to the experience, you can just be playing Temple Run while you listen to this. Or I've heard people say that they like to draw while they listen to my videos, or, play any sort of game. Like, do what you do when you listen to podcasts. And let me tell you about my story. I'm going to try to do this chronologically. I'm going to try to do like one character backstory per episode. So this story is going to be what I consider the first part of the story. Now, technically, there is backstory before this part, but it is spoilers, and it is also so wild, I don't even know if it's canon. That's going to be a reoccurring thing. You'll notice two things about my story. Is that, one, a lot of these story beats I made up when I was like 16, 17, 18, and I'm 22 now, and I'm not sure if it's still a good idea. In fact, I might go into like some of the characters that I created and then later on realize that they were like problematic in some way or another, and have either cut or am striving to find ways to make them not so problematic. And the second thing you will find is that I basically just tell the exact same storyline over and over again. And you can call this lazy writing, but I like to call it narrative parallels, okay? It's like Star Wars, okay? All the storylines rhyme. And it's not just that I really like secret children and big reveals and tragic backstories and edginess. Oh, that's a good point. There's going to be triggers, trigger warnings. I'm going to try to put in trigger warnings in like the description of each episode, but in general, my story kind of runs on like anime logic of rating, where like the story beats and characters are extremely teenage, but then like a lot of the story elements would be considered more adult. For instance, in this story, a teenager gets pregnant, and then there's like abusive parenting and alcoholism, and like the main character is straight up like 30 years old. So yeah, it really is, this story is really just my comfort story. And so some of the elements, it doesn't really fall into nice perfect categories that would be good for like Disney or Cartoon Network. It's just a story, and I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend it. There are parts of it that suck, but I love it, so I hope other people love it. So, yeah, I guess now that, oh my gosh, I didn't even keep track of how long I've been talking. I hope I haven't been talking for too long. We're going to say, I'm going to try to talk for an hour, and my phone clock and my laptop clock are different. Anyways, no clue why that is. So yeah, so we're gonna get into, very beginning of my story. So this is 100,000 years ago. That is like the rough time frame. Like, Earth exists, but humans haven't evolved yet. I actually don't know when humans evolve. Maybe humans, I'll look that up later, okay? But our story isn't actually about Earth. It takes place, the beginning of the story takes place in this solar system with these 5 planets. And I said that, like, the 5 planets are all, like a third of the size of Earth, basically, but they are all inhabitable. So there's these 5 planets with these 5 distinct, like, societies and such. And the thing about my universe is that all of the aliens are humanoid. Like, there's this weird thing in this universe where the only, like, type of being that's allowed to be sapient, is that the word? That has consciousness, for whatever reason, they're all humanoid. So there's these 5 planets with these 5 different types of humans in it. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to explain so much. For all you need to know right now is that all non-magical creatures that are sentient, that's what I was looking for, sentient, they're all called humans. So humans are not just earthlings. Humans come from every single planet. But today we are going to be focusing on the planet Aimsiphonos. See, another thing you'll notice is that a lot of times I give my planets and magical things names that I've written down and I've never actually had to pronounce. And so I go to pronounce it and my dyslexia goes no. So it's Aimsiphonos. Aimsiphonos. So Aimsiphonos has a lot of technical advancements. In fact, that's another thing I should mention. I kind of wrote a novella about this story. This episode is going to be focusing primarily on what happened with Infinity and Dreamer. Those are our two primary characters, but it's really more Infinity's story. And in 2019, in one of the 2010s, at like late 2010s, I wrote a novella called One I Don't Even Deserve to Get. No, I will not be explaining the title. I will. So a lot of this story was inspired by the song Izayoi. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sing, but specifically the cover that GB Phonic did. For some reason, that song just vibed with me so hard, and I basically wrote a lot of Infinity's backstory to it. I probably have a playlist of songs that I was listening to when I wrote this novella that I can link to. That could be fun. Anyways, one of the lines in the song is like, something, 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 one I don't even deserve to get. And I felt like that really vibed with Infinity's characters. So I wrote this novella, One I Don't Even Deserve to Get. It blew up my mind because I suddenly woke up one day and I realized that writing was fun. And, well, I didn't like wake up. I just like started writing the story and it was actually fun. And I wrote basically the entire novella. I did have a mini breakdown about it halfway through, but I did come back and finish it. And it was like, I think technically it was the second novella I ever finished, because in between like stopping writing One I Don't Even Deserve to Get, I'm pretty sure I wrote all of Paper Doll, and then I came back and wrote One I Don't Even Deserve to Get. Paper Doll, for the record, is another novella that I've written, and I am already sweating. This is gonna be fun. Y'all are like, imagine it's been like 20 minutes and y'all are like, oh my goodness, girl, just get into the storyline. I'm getting there. Oh my goodness, this is not gonna work. It's fine. We're all in this together. If I see one comment about me having undiagnosed ADHD, I will lose it. No, I won't. This is fun. What was I saying? I was literally just talking. Okay, so the reason I know so much about Infinity specifically is because I did write a novella about it. But because I was lazy, I didn't want to invent a whole new society and like whole new like societal stuff for this story. So their society functions basically the exact same way that like America does. Now, there are major differences, but, like, technologically wise, it's like a Black Mirror episode. So, like, think, like, slightly more technologically advanced than our society. But oh, I hate it when they do that. I don't know if you can hear that. That's not from the road. There's just somebody driving around in the forest. I'm scared. I'm gonna get my keys just in case I have to drive off. I'm scared. It's an adventure. Yeah. I'm not gonna hold my keys because I'm gonna be messing with them the entire time. I should cut that part out. Let me know in the future if I should cut the parts out where I randomly get scared that I'm gonna get murdered. Oh my gosh. Nope. Okay, new plan. Y'all are just gonna have to deal with the sounds from my car, because I am not doing that. I'm not dealing with that. No. Absolutely not. Okay, so sorry about the rumbling. It's just gonna be there. Oh my gosh, I bet the sound quality is gonna be so bad. Hold on. Okay, I checked the sound quality. It's bad, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Also, I just want to state for the record that I'm not just like parked on like the side of like a random street and that's like somebody's house over there. This is like public parking. It just happens to be night and the people here are insane. No. /J/half J/Jen. Oh my gosh, that's not how tags are used. It's fine. Anyways, so Aimsifosness. Did I say it the same way I did last time? I don't know. So this planet if you read the novella, I do actually have the entire novella, like, put up on my website. Like, I could literally just publish it at any time, but I'm a coward because literally the society is the exact same as our society because I am too lazy to rewrite it. That's the thing. Like, this story is just, like, for fun. Like, so, like, whether or not Infinity's backstory is makes okay, so like technically I used to justify it to myself by being like, there is a reason that it is just Earth 2.0 and the other planets are not just Earth 2.0, and like if you read the novella there are hints as to like why it's just Earth 2.0, but that the reason is extremely lazy and it is just because I wanted to write a funeral scene and I didn't want to have to do a bunch of research as to like what funerals look like in other cultures, so it is just an American evangelical funeral, minus all the talk about like God and the afterlife. Yeah, so where was I? Okay, yes, so, but the thing about amorphousness that is important to note is that the tech has been basically the same for the last like 200 years. So they have computers with like touch screens, they have like self-driving cars and stuff, but also like they've been that way like forever. Like they should have progressed past this point, but for whatever reason they have not. Another thing to note about amorphousness, which I am quickly getting tired of saying, but the planet AMZ, is that they have like very specific like marriage culture stuff. So basically so every time I say this, I get one of two responses. Response one of people being like, yeah, Sarah, you didn't like come up with anything new. That's like how a lot of things function like back in the day. And then two, people being like, wow, that's actually like a really cool. No. Nobody reacts like that. They go, I'm confused, and I have to explain it like 15 times. Okay, so like, you know, like how the royal family like decades in advance like plans out marriages, sometimes like lifetimes in advance, like the kids haven't even been born yet and they're already getting paired up. That's how like everybody in this universe is. So like your parents are like, I don't know, your parents are bakers, right? You're bakers. Before you were born, you were promised to marry the baker's daughter from the next town over because, you know, your two bakeries are like on the same level, and sometimes like, ooh, maybe like that bakery is like really poppin' and like everybody's like going to it, so you're actually like helping your family by like marrying up, and then it's like, ew, that, or maybe like you can't find any bakeries that will like marry your son because you had like a fifth son unexpectedly, so then like you have to like marry down, and so like it's all like this high-tech like marriage laws, and like there's like a marriage day where like everybody gets married. Like there's like a certain time, like when you and your spouse have both hit 18 and it is marriage day, you all get married. And like there's like this whole like thing where like you go on like a bunch of like dates, specifically like you go on like 5 ritualistic dates, but like not ritualistic as like creepy, but like in a like, you two don't know each, like also you're not allowed to know, like you're not allowed to like be friends or like get to know like your eloped your fiance before these 5 dates. So you basically like, you've been promised to this person your entire life, and then like the two of you finally turn 18 and you go through these 5 dates to get to know each other, and then on marriage day everybody gets married. And it's like, marriage is, it's not like a wedding day like in our culture. I don't know why I was like, screw coming up with like a whole different funeral system, but then I spent so long on the marriage system. This is how you know it is literally just a comfort story, and I literally just make up the parts that I want to. And honestly, I think that it's fun, and I think that more people should write stories like this. It does make it infuriating to do anything with these stories, but maybe you can make a podcast and some people will listen to it. Just my 2 cents. Anyways, but marriage isn't like a huge, like, it's my wedding day like Bridezilla's. It's like, you know, like back in the day where people would just like get married behind the shed. It's kind of like that. Like you just like, okay, it's the day that everybody gets married. Okay, you're in your nice dress. Let's take a picture. Okay, you two are married now. Bye. Go live your life forever. And like, it is ceremonial, but there's much more of a community. Like, here are our 5 couples getting married this year. Like, let's celebrate all of them together. It's like graduation. It's like graduation, but you get married. Okay. None of that is important. Well, some of that is important. Anyways, so our main focus is these 2 families. I wrote sort of a script for this. Let me make sure that this is a good point. There is no magic on amorphousness. Now, here's the thing. Magic does exist in this universe, and other races are magical, and, like, there's, like, whole, like, Terrarians having, like, plot lines about the planet eaters in the background, but AMC Phosnis have not left their planet. So, like, they'll have, like, sci-fi stories about, like, aliens and stuff, but they have no idea that, like, and they, like, know that there's 4 other planets, but, like, the average person has no idea that, like, aliens actually exist, even though they're right next door, okay? So this is a big point, is that this universe, the world is like ours in that they think they have no magic. That was ominous, because that implies that in our world we just think we don't have magic. Okay, I'm going to turn the gains back down. Maybe that was up. I can't tell. Okay, this is probably really fun to listen to. Hello? Okay, that's fine. What was I saying? Okay, so our story focuses on these 2 catfish farmers. And when I wrote this story, for some reason, I did not know catfish farms was a thing. I just thought it would be funny if there was, like, farms that farmed catfish. Apparently it's a thing. So we're gonna pretend like I knew that. Anyway, so there's the Souls and the Lucians. The Lucians. Now, I will say, when I named these characters, for those of you who know anything about my Overseers, which I'm trying to do this where you don't need to know anything about the Overseers to listen to this podcast, but for those of you who do know the Overseers, you may know that Desponia's real name is, like, Diana Scholl, I think. I changed her last name one time. Anyways, I forgot that I named oh my gosh, did I just burp on my podcast? Oh my goodness. I forgot that I named Infinity's family the Souls when I named them the Shoals. So let's just ignore that. I don't think that, yeah, so the Souls and the Lucians, I don't know how to pronounce my own characters' names. They are both catfish farmers. But the thing you need to know is that the Souls have, like, it's spelled S-O-L-S. They have, like, a kind of, like, moderate, like, low-key, like, you know, just your average catfish farmers. Whereas the Lucians are, like, catfish farmer royalty. I mean, you get the sense throughout the story that maybe the Souls used to be kind of, like, this big, prominent catfish farming family, but have since, like, their, like, sales have fallen through. Maybe there's, like, trouble with the stock market, so they don't live this big glamorous life that apparently catfish farmers live in. Maybe catfish is just, like, super. I, like, literally wrote in this book, like, Dreamer lives in, like, this, like, 5-story mansion, and, like, 22-year-old me is reading this story like, catfish farms must be through the roof, or these guys are, like, laundering money for the mafia. Anyways, take what you will. I don't know why I just didn't think about this. I was just like, the Lucians are ridiculously rich and the Souls are pretending like they are. But luckily for the Souls, they worked out this deal where their son is going to marry the Lucian's daughter. And it was worked out, like, generations ago or something. So the Soul family has 2 sons, Infinity and Dreamer. Infinity, Dreamer are twins. Did I say Dreamer? Twins are named Infinity and Riddler and Infinity. Infinity is older. Oh my goodness, I have to explain names. The first episode is just gonna be me explaining the world. Oh my goodness. So the names in this universe, I thought I was being really quirky. So instead of, like, coming up with, like, names like Grokdilicht, which means, like, sunrise, I just would call the character Sunrise. So in their language system, sorry, I just heard a weird sound. I need to not do this in the future. In their language system, their names always go the blank who blanks, or the blank who does blank, or the blank who likes blank, you know? It's this functional system. So you have, like, if you were to say their first name, it would be, like if I liked cars, or if my name was that, I would be the one who liked cars. Or if you were to put my last name with it, I would be the truly who likes cars, you know? But then to shorten the name and put them into, like, American terms, I would just call myself Car Truly, which is a fun name. So Infinity's full name is the soul who is as infinite as, the soul who is infinite as, the soul who is infinite as space, which, now that I think about it, is so on the nose. I did not think about this. And Riddler's name is the soul who solves riddles. I think that's it. I really wish I wrote more of this down. I'm like, I can explain my story. I remember my story. Anyways, so it should be noted that normally like names are like Dreamer, where it's like the Lucian who dreams, or like the blank who blanks, right? So the one who is as infinite as space is like a really weird name, and like characters like periodically comment on how weird of a name Infinity has. Shouldn't, yeah, now some of you may be thinking, shouldn't his name be Space or Infinite? No, we call him Infinity. This is just a translation thing. Like, in universe, they're saying something that means the soul who is as infinite as space. But in English, we just call him Infinity. Same with Riddler. In universe, they are saying the one who solves riddles. But in English, we are just calling him Riddler. All this to say, Infinity and Riddler are twins. Infinity is older. Therefore, he is the one who is promised to the Lucian's daughter, who is Dreamer, who, as I've already established, her name is the one who dreams. Very simple stuff. I don't think I named any of the parents. I think I named the mom, the soul mom, Reason. I think I did. I just reread this. How did I forget? By this, I mean my novella. And by just reread it, I mean I reread it like a month or two ago. So Infinity and Riddler grow up in a town, which I really should have written down the name of, but I'm pretty sure it's Mitiva. And I'm pretty sure it's spelled Miteeva. Why did I give the towns real weird names? Is not give the people... Don't question it. It's a comfort story. This is not supposed to be me making fun of my story. Anyway, so Riddler and Infinity, of course, they grow up with classic twin shenanigans because they're identical twins. But then they also, like, Infinity and Riddler kind of get, like, this weird dynamic because Infinity's the older one, but everybody likes Riddler better. And people are constantly mistaking Infinity for Riddler and Riddler for Infinity and vice versa. For some reason, they have two different color eye colors. So Infinity has blue eyes and Riddler has yellow eyes. This is a thing in universe. This is the thing in universe that I'm not sure is canon, so maybe they both have blue eyes, because you would think... I don't think they do, like, oh no, which one of us is Riddler and which one of us is Infinity shenanigans. Like, I think they're the type of identical twins that, like, as they got older, they do kind of look different, and obviously they have completely different styles and stuff. But the thing is about Riddler is that he's, like, super supportive of his big bro, and, like, honestly, they have, like, a pretty healthy relationship, if not for the fact that there is some resentment because everybody loves Riddler, and they're like, oh yeah, but Infinity's the one that's like gonna take over the catfish farm and stuff. Anyways, when Infinity is 16, oh my goodness, I need to be better prepared. I think he's 16. Dreamer, yes, because Dreamer is 16. Dreamer has this like big party. The Lucians throw this big party for Dreamer, and they invite Infinity and Riddler. I guess, like, it's socially acceptable for the betrothed to meet each other a couple of times, but they're, like, not supposed to, like, hang out. Anyways, so at this party, Dreamer gives, like, this big performance, and Infinity sees it, and he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's the woman that's the girl that I'm gonna marry. She's so pretty, she's so talented, I'm so completely in love with her. And so, you know, the two of them end up talking in, like, this cute little scene that I actually kind of love, and I reread every now and then because it's so cute, and also tragic. So the thing is that, like, Infinity just falls head over heels for Dreamer, because he's, like, a guy. And, I mean, not to be sexist, no, but he's just like one of those hopeless romantic kind of guys, and he's like been so scared his whole life. Like, he's like, what if she's ugly? What if she thinks I'm ugly? Like, what if she's like super hard to get along with? What if like I hate her? And then like when he sees her in like this glamorous version of her at this party, like the perfected version of her, he just completely falls head over heels for her. And so Riddler is like so totally like Infinity's wingman, right? So he's like, don't worry, I'm gonna like arrange it so that you two get to hang out. So like Riddler actually like works to like secretly help Infinity and Dreamer hang out. So Infinity and Dreamer start hanging out all the time, even though they're not supposed to. And Riddler kind of like hangs around as like a third wheel, and they form this like cute really little group. But the thing about Dreamer is that she acts really nice, but then every now and then just like this real nasty comment will slip through, and then she'll be all like, oopsie, ha 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 ha. but the thing is, Infinity is like so head over heels in love with her. I cannot stress how much he idealizes her, that like he totally like doesn't notice any of this. And sometimes Riddler is like, hey man, I know you like really like her, but like sometimes she doesn't seem like the best person, like I don't know, man. And he's like, no, Dreamer's amazing. And like, yeah, but like if he hung out with like her for too long, like if they hung out all day and got into the night, like she would get super like snappy, and like snappy is like a mad sort of way, and like snapping at him and stuff. But then like by the morning she'd be like perfect again, so we'd just like completely forget about it. So one day, Dreamer is like, Infinity, I'm so sick of my life with the Lucians. They're so overbearing. They always want me to be perfect. I just want to be with you. Let's forget about catfish farming. Let's just elope. And eloping is highly illegal, because like so much of their society is like carefully built on like these marriage connections. Like it's not about love, it's about connections, right? So the idea of like falling in love and eloping is like super shameful. But Infinity and Dreamer are just so in love with each other, they're so committed, they're like, we're gonna run away. So Infinity, it's like very like, are you coming to the tree, the hanging tree? She's like, meet me at that tree that we always hang out at, because also they always hang out at like this one tree, like this idyllic spot, and like Riddler's just in the background like playing the violin. So Infinity's like, yeah, I totally will meet you at our spot tonight. It's going to be great. And so they go their separate ways, pack their bags. And then, I just realized, why are there two separate giant catfish farming families in one town? Maybe they live on like the coast. I don't know where catfish are. It's fine. Ignore the plot holes. It's for funsies. Maybe Dreamer is visiting for the summer or something. I don't know. Find a thought hole, just slap some flex tape on that stuff. We don't need to think about it. They're in the same town. So that night, Infinity's all set to like leave, and he's like, Riddler, I trust you to take over the catfish farm. Like, you're so much better at math and stuff than I am. I am dumb. I just want to be with my waifu. And Riddler's like, I'm so happy for you, man. Keep in touch. It's going to be great. Anyway, so Infinity goes to that tree that Dreamer said to meet him at, and he waits there all night. And Dreamer never shows up. And he's like, what the heck? Oh no, what if something happened to her? And he's like so scared. And he like goes back home. Oh, trigger warning. You know what? Read the trigger warnings in the description. So he goes back home and he's all like sad that like his waifu didn't show up. And his mom's like, where were you all night? And he's like, I was, and she was like, were you gonna like elope with Dreamer? And he's like, what? No. And she's like, do you know how I know? And he's like, how? And she's like, 'cause Dreamer just committed suicide to preserve her family's honor because she was going to elope. Like, yeah, it's one of those societies. So now, like, Dreamer, so apparently, like, her parents found out she was going to elope and, like, stopped her. And, like, out of shame and, like, to preserve her family's honor, she, like, committed suicide. So now Infinity is like, oh my gosh, I got my waifu killed. He enters like a deep depression, and Riddler is like, that sucks, man. Riddler, okay, if y'all want to know Riddler's personality, just think Sans from Undertale, because, like, that is the exact vibes I'm getting from him right now. Like, Riddler can Sans. Like, Sans Undertale does not exist in their universe, but, like, let's pretend that he does for a second to say that Riddler kins him. So he's like, yeah, bro, that sucks. But, like, without the laugh. Anyway, so Infinity is, like, so depressed, and the souls, of course, are so embarrassed that they just quietly are like, Infinity, you know how you said that Riddler could take over the catfish farm? Yeah, we're writing you out of the will. So he gets written out of the will, and he's not officially disowned by the family, and he's not officially kicked out by his parents, but he is told that he should find a new place to live. Which is fun. So, also, I should establish the concept of nil in this universe. So they have, like, this weird version of the homeless, which are the familyness. So the people who have either been, like, abandoned by their families, or like, you know, the mom gave birth and like absconded immediately. You know, the people who have no family are called nil. So like if you don't have a name attached to you, you like can't get a job, you can barely do anything. Like there's some jobs that nil can get. I cannot get the volume right. There's some jobs that Neil can get, and it's basically like celebritydom or like, you know, accounting. Is that joke going to make any sense to people listening to this years in the future? Maybe not. So yeah, it's stripping. You know? So there are like some jobs that Nil can get, but if you don't have a family attached to you, you're basically dead. But if you are a Nil, it's kind of like a collective last name. So like if you are like, back to the car thing, if you're the truly who likes cars and you are abandoned by your family, you become the nil who likes cars, and so your name would be functionally carnivorous. No, what? All this to say, Infinity doesn't officially become a nil. Like, he still has his name attached to him, but functionally he is kind of a nil. So anyways, he goes to this city, which I named Begosity, because it's a big ass city. So Begosity, I'm pretty sure it's spelled Begusiti, I think. Begosity. I don't know how to pronounce it. I was just like, I need a name for this big ass city. I'll name it Begosity. Anyways, which is basically their version of New York City. And, oh, also, I forgot to mention this, but Infinity Dreamer and Riddler had a book club. Like, that was, like, their thing, is that, like, they would read books together. So they would, like, pick a book, and then they'd go their separate ways, and then when they met again, I guess they did live in different towns, because, like, it would be, like, some time before they could meet again, and then they'd, like, discuss this book, and they'd discuss, like, their favorite characters and stuff. Speaking of, I decided that and by decided, I mean somebody on Tumblr suggested that I have, like, segments, like a proper podcast. So I thought that it'd be fun to just come up with some random segments and see what jibes with you guys. So, my first idea for a segment is, talking about which characters, what my characters of this story would think of Better Call Saul, because my family has been watching, well, I've been rewatching Better Call Saul. I saw the first 4 seasons. I haven't seen the 5th ones. No spoilers, but my family hasn't seen it yet, and my family's a big fan of Breaking Bad, so we've been watching Better Call Saul. So I thought it'd be funny to just take a moment, you know, of my very limited time to just take a break from this story. Forget about that. Infinity's been kicked out. Dreamer committed Sudoku. Riddler's chilling. He accidentally got the family farm, but also he has no potential spouse mates. He would have to marry down. Spouse mates? That's okay. Anyways, so now I'll talk about what these 3 characters would think if they were to watch the show Better Call Saul. And anybody who doesn't know Better Call Saul, yeah, I'll try not to spoil the show. It's a show. This is just gonna turn into me ranting about Better Call Saul. No. Okay, so if Riddler, Dreamer, and Infinity were to watch Better Call Saul, here's my thing. I feel like Dreamer would be the type to pretend not to like it, and she would, like, pretend to, like, morally object to everything Jimmy does. Jimmy's the main character. So, like, Jimmy would, like, pull some sort of con, and Dreamer would be like, oh, how could he? See, this is why I don't like the show. It, like, promotes, like, harmful ideas. But then, like, secretly, like, she's, like, 5 episodes ahead of them sometimes, because, like, she's so invested in the storyline, like, she can't, like, stop and wait for everybody else to like catch up with them. I feel like, okay, for Riddler and Infinity, I feel like they would have, like, I feel like they would both, like, weirdly kin Jimmy and feel like the other one is Chuck, okay? So, like, Infinity would relate to Jimmy and the, like, everybody loves Chuck, even though, like, he's trying his best. And also, like, Infinity's kind of got that, like, goofy, like, I'm just, like, a fun, silly, happy guy, you know? I'm just quirky. And so, like, I feel like he would relate to that. But then, like, I feel like Riddler would also relate to Jimmy because, like, he is the younger brother and he's always the one taking care of Chuck and stuff. So I guess that would make Dreamer Kim. I feel like Dreamer would absolutely hate Kim. No, here's the thing. She would pretend to be a Kim Kinney, but actually she's a Chuck Kinney. Oof. Side note, Passion, who is their kid, spoilers, is their kid. Man, I'm just who needs who needs to keep things chronological? I'm just gonna talk about Passion. Passion would kin the heck out of Jimmy. Passion would watch the show Better Call Saul and base his entire personality around Jimmy. I mean, around the age of like 16 or so. Like, he's a baby, and then like when he's 16, he's like, I'm gonna be a Jimmy Kinney now. So yeah. None of them would like the storyline with Mike. They would think it was super confusing. They would not understand anything that would be happening. They're like, why is he in a forest? Why is he shooting a pair of shoes? What is going on? Which, honestly, do you blame them? Can anybody blame them? No, but I do think that all of them would be cheering at the end of season 3, except for when Passion comes along and watches it later. He would be just completely blown away by the ending of season 3 because he, obsesses over things, and I think that he would, like, stay up at night thinking about it. Just, like, really would have an impact on his psyche. So that's my first suggested, side tangent that I could possibly go on, which is just discussing what my characters would think of whatever media I'm currently obsessed with. Let me know what you guys think. Are you sick of it? Do you want to know what all of my characters would think of Better Call Saul now? Should I do Breaking Bad next? Let me know in the comments. I'm assuming I'm uploading this to my YouTube video. If not, send me an ask to my inbox on Tumblr. It's open again. Don't clown. But, like, you know what? Do clown. No, don't clown. I don't know. I'm looking at, like, the very rough notes that I took on this, and one of the notes is just Dreamer. And the next note is Infinity and Dreamer. So, I'm sure I had some sort of point to make there, but I don't remember what it is now. Anyways, back to the story. Just so people know, Infinity is, like, 18, right? He's just been, asked to leave his home by his family, because Dreamer committed Sudoku to preserve her family's honor. Also, it should be noted that Dreamer was the Lucian's only child. I think there was, like, some sort of subplot where, like, that was on the Soul side of the family. I don't know what the Lucians were thinking, having one single daughter and calling it a day. Maybe the mom had, like, endometritis or something. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. That's not a laughing matter. Let's continue. So, Infinity is in this new city. He has a name attached to him, but he's in the big city. There's no catfish to farm here. He has no idea what to do. His girlfriend just committed Sudoku, and he is just having a real rough time. This is where I should have actually put the cliffhanger, but it's fine. So he's just wandering the Bogosity. He's wandering Bogosity, just trying to find things to do with his time. Also, by 18, you are officially declared an adult, so, like, he can, like, legally drink and stuff. So, of course, he goes to a bar, and he's just, like, at this bar, just feeling miserable, feeling real sorry for himself, when this clever little character just walks in. So he's just at this bar alone, right? He doesn't know anybody in Bogosity. Like, all of his friends are back in Nativa. But this girl just walks up to his booth. He's in, like, a corner booth in the very back of the bar, just drinking his sorrows away. But, like, he's like a lightweight, and, like, he's taken, like, 2 sips, and he's like, oh, I actually don't like alcohol. Like, he's one of those guys. Like, he's 18. So this woman just, like, strolls up and, like, sits down in his booth. Like, she knows him. And she's got, like, these big glasses and, like, gray eyes underneath the glasses. And she's got, like, this pixie cut. And I always draw her in, like, this big green sweater, sometimes with an alien on it. Like, one of those, like, really stupid alien heads that, like, obviously no actual aliens look like that. And she always wears a choker. And he's like, do I know you? And she's like, no, but I know you. I can't remember what she says, but it's like some banger of a one-liner, okay? And he's like, can I help you? And she's like, actually, I'm gonna help you. And she gives him this box. It's like this little, like, glass plastic box with this white gem in it. And he's like, what am I supposed to, who are you? What is this? What am I supposed to do with it? And she's like, break it open and get the crystal. And he's like, bestie, what is going on? Also, I started saying bestie like in 2021 and I can't stop, so my apologies in advance. But like there's like something about like the way she says it and like her manic pixie dream girl energy that he's like, screw it. So he like picks up the box and he's like trying to figure out how to open. She's like, no, don't open it, break it. Also, it should be noted that like ever since Dreamer committed Sudoku, he's had like this really raging headache that like won't go away. So he is like holding this box and he's like squeezing it, like how the heck am I gonna break this? And like as he's squeezing it, he's like thinking about all the stuff that's happened about like Dreamer and her committing Sudoku and his parents totally not kicking him out and like losing all his friends and his home and everything. And he's just so furious that he ends up like shattering the box and it like cuts open his hands all anime like, and he like yeah, he goes like, like the classic like anime hiss sound. It's very anime. And he's like looking at his hands and like there's like glass shards. Okay, let's make them plastic shards. Is that a thing? I'm so sorry, trigger warning. And but then he like picks them out and like puts like a napkin on top of it to like stop the bleeding. And when he takes the napkin away, there's like no cuts on his arm. And he's like, what? And then he hears like a little jingle and he looks up and this girl is holding the crystal, but now it's blue. And he's like, what happened to the other crystal? She's like, no, this is the crystal. And he's like, what is going on? And so she gives him the crystal, and I think at one point she like lowers her glasses, and like before just her irises were gray, but then like when she lowers the glasses, like her entire sclera is gray. And he's like, what? And then like she like pushes, I can't exactly remember how this scene goes, but like she pushes him over and like, no, somehow she tricks him into opening a portal into the space in between dimensions, which is like this big black expanse, because it is literally the space in between dimensions. But and it's I call it SID because it's, those are the initials, but because of reasons the middle initial is a Y, so it's space in between dimensions. Like it's just spelled like that. Don't ask questions. This is a comfort story. So then he's like looking around like, how did I get here? What's going on? It's black everywhere. What's going on? And like she steps into the portal too. She's like, relax, you just unlocked your spatial powers. And he's like, what did you give me? What was in that crystal? And she's like, no. You have this power. I've just put all your power in the crystal. But haha, notice your headache's gone. He's like, my headache is gone. And so she tells him that her name is Sammy. And he's like, that's not a name. Because remember, all the names in this universe are like the blank who does blank, the blank who does blank. And she's just like, he's like, what's your name? He's like, and she's like, Sammy. And he's like, what? Because like it would be like if all of our names started with an E and ended in an A, and then you came along and said your name is Bob. Like it just doesn't commute in his head. But she says, my name's Sammy. I'm a magical alien I'm part of a magical alien race called Aspians, and my sole job is making sure the universe stays on track. And you are important to making sure the universe stays on track. This is a big thing with Sammy, is that she's constantly telling Infinity, you are important, you are meant to do important things. And she never tells him what these important things are. Okay, this is future editing Sarah just popping in because I forgot to say something very important about Aspians. And that is that they know everything. Like, this is the thing about Aspians, is that they are responsible for making sure that the universe stays on track. And the reason that they know what like the universe is supposed to do is because they know literally everything. So Sammy just keeps telling Infinity, like, I know you, I know everything about you, and I know that you're important and you're gonna do important things. You know what? I really should just put out one I don't even deserve to get, because it's way more compelling than me just explaining the storyline. Coming soon, one I don't even deserve to get. It's all going up on my website. I don't care anymore. Is there spoilers? I want to say there's spoilers. I don't care. I'm publishing it. Anyways, so now And Infinity has space powers, and Sammy like takes them to like different parts of the universe, because also the universe is not just these 5 planets. Like, it's like this huge place with like all these different like aliens and magical races. And so like Infinity like starts like exploring like the universe. And I think originally he was supposed to be exploring the multiverse, but now the multiverse in my story is super like, it's not an infinity multiverse anymore. It is a very finite multiverse. So like there's really only like one other universe canonically at this time, and that's The Boy Who Loves Horses AU, which people say makes no sense, but it makes perfect sense to me. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. Anyways, if we start talking about AUs, we're gonna be here all day. I think it might have been an hour already. We're gonna try to wrap this up. No. Yes. Okay. So, I'll get to the part. I'll leave on a cliffhanger. But Infinity is still living in Bogosity, and he still needs to make money somehow. So what he ends up doing is he starts writing books about his adventures. And so he creates this character called the Explorer. Or the One Who Explores. And because, you know, it's kind of a book character, he doesn't have a last name. He's just the One Who Explores. So he writes this book series called the Explorers series. Well, no. There was a book there like exploring the multiverse with the no, I can't remember what the book series is called, but basically every single book goes like this, because it's just a formula. It's like he takes his adventures and then plugs it into a formula, and then it sells, but the only reason it sells is mostly on its like incredible world building and concepts. And so people constantly, also like this book series of course takes off and becomes like a super popular book series, and people are constantly like complimenting Infinity on like his amazing world building and like really cool concepts, and he's always like, thanks, I didn't come up with any of it. So he starts, because he hates how people compliment him so much on this, that he starts telling people that it all comes from dreams, that he didn't actually come up with any of it, it's just his crazy subconscious working. And people are like, oh my gosh, he's so humble. But then also because of everything that like went down with like his family and Dreamer, he like fully commits to like this anonymous author sort of thing. So they are the Explorer series, and it is literally written by Explorer. Like, he never says his real name. Like, nobody knows anything about this dude. They just know that he writes banger books. But here's the thing, is that they are incredibly formulaic, because it always happens. So basically the big plot of the Explorer series is that Explorer is looking for his betrothed Angel. Now, I know I also have another character named Angel in my series now, but ignore the other Angel. We're talking about this Angel. So the Explorer is looking for his ex-girl, his fiance, not ex-girl, Angel. And he's searching the multiverse for him. So the first book starts out where, like, you know, Explorer is in this new city. He's just lost his betrothed. He's trying to find her. And this magical alien named Sammy shows up and gives him magical powers, you know? And tells him, like, Angel is out there in the universe. You just have to find her. So every book, you know, Sammy comes to him with some lead about where Angel is, and Sammy keeps on being like, you're so important, you're gonna find her, you're gonna do such important things. And so Infinity goes to this new location, and of course he always meets some like hot girl who's like totally super into him, and throughout the book it's this whole like will they, won't they, and of course the girl is super in love with Explorer, but Explorer is like, I have to find Angel though. And then by the end the lead goes like sour, and like Angel wasn't there, and the hot girl is like, stay here with me, but Explorer's like, no, I have to find Angel. And it's like literally the exact same thing every single book, but they go to like the craziest places with like the wildest world building concepts that like literally people are they're just here for the world building, which is ironic because I don't world build. Anyway, so Infinity actually makes like a really good like living being like this best-selling author, and also they're like YA books. Or, yeah, I think they are. Or maybe they're not. I don't know. But they're, like, a best-selling author, like, best-selling series where, like, every New Year's he comes out with a new book. And, yes, the plot is the exact same as all the other books. But It's got crazy, it's like, this time it's about space pirates, you know? I'd read those books. And of course, all of it is based off of, like, real people he knew. So it's, like, really awkward, like, in One I Don't Deserve to Get, where, like, he goes and, like, hangs out with JoJo, and, like, he's, like, which is, like, one of the friends that, like, he's made along the way. I'm also realizing now I do have another character named JoJo. I just like certain names. And it's, like, super awkward, because it's like, oh yeah, I did totally write this girl to be, like, a love interest in one of my books, but, like, she's not actually into me at all, because, of course, like, Explorer is, like, cute, but he's not, like, Dreamboat, you know? I'm sorry, Infinity. Explorer is a dreamboat, but, like, also there's, like, some uncanny valley there where, like, every time Infinity sees Explorer, he's, like drawings and, like, stuff of Explorer, it's, like, a perfect version of himself, and it always is, like, is that me, or is that my brother Riddler, you know? And, like, there's, like, a lot of interesting things at play there. Anyways, cut to 12 years later. Infinity has published 9 successful books, and he is on book 10, and his publisher, or his agent, is like, okay, this is the last book, you gotta find Angel. And he's like, yeah, here's the thing, I don't actually know where Angel is. He's, like, one of those authors that, like, it's, like, this big mystery of, like, ooh, where's Angel? And, like, every book you get, like, more hints as to where she could be. But then, like, the author himself, like, actually has no clue, like, what the answer to his mystery is. Like, he's set up this whole mystery, and then people are like, but what's, like, actually going up? And he's like, it's up to you to decide. Oh, I hate it when people do that. For the record, when I set up mysteries, it's never up to you to decide. There is a truth behind it. I'm not gonna say that, because one day, what if I make a mystery that it's up to you to decide? Ugh, people, different strokes. I think it's lazy, but I do lazy things too. Anyways, so his agent is like, Infinity, you have to tell people where Angel is. So he, like, writes this entire book, and the thing is, in his mind, Angel has... Wait, maybe I should not say this part. Maybe I should leave this for the book, or slash for people to read. Why did I start? Okay, just read the book. No, I'll get to it next episode. Anyways, so Infinity is in the middle of writing his 10th and final book, and he's hit, like, writer's block, right? This is where One I Don't Even Deserve to Get starts, okay? This is just an advertisement. Go to my website, link in description, read my entire novella. He gets a notification from, he gets a call from his mom, and his mom is like, your brother's dead. And he's like, what? My brother's dead? And she's like, yeah, you have to, like, come to the funeral. It's, like, tomorrow. And he's like, I'll be there. And then his life promptly gets turned upside down, and that is the entire plot of One I Don't Even Deserve to Get. I really thought I could get through more than that, but you know what? We've gotten some groundwork laid here. Did I talk for an hour and 30 minutes, or did I literally only talk for 45 minutes? These are questions that I shall find out later, because I'm tired. I've been talking for a really long time. This is why people have, like, co-hosts. Anyway, so, experiment over. Let me know what you guys think. This experiment has just taught me that I literally just want to publish One I Don't Deserve to Get. I literally am just going to publish One I Don't Even Deserve to Get. It's like, here's the thing, because there are pieces of the writing that, like, I hate with a passion, but there's also pieces of the writing that I'm like, yeah, that's, like, good. So, like, take everything with a grain of salt. It's not my masterpiece. It's not my Mona Lisa. It's not my, what is it? What is the third thing that people say? Magnum opus. It is just a novella that I wrote for the funsies. But yeah. Watch me, like, make this entire podcast and then decide not to publish One I don't even deserve to get. I can't even say the name of my own title. Anyways, so have fun with that. Let me know what you guys think of the Overseers podcast. Should I make more episodes? Should I finish telling this story? I probably will. This is fun. I'll see if anybody likes it. I'm also thinking about having a section at the end in the future where I ask people to send me, like, their super pressing questions. Like, if I said something that just absolutely makes no sense or, like, contradicts something I said earlier, or if you need, like, clarification, like, if I started talking about something and got distracted and never actually finished talking about it, like, please leave all those questions in my Tumblr inbox. Or I guess in the comments below, but probably in my Tumblr inbox, because then I don't know. I want to promote my Tumblr. I'm on Tumblr like every single day, whereas I like never touch my YouTube channel anymore. So yeah. So that was fun. I hope I made some sort of sense, and I hope that I'll be able to continue doing this in the future, because this does genuinely sound like a super fun idea to do like a podcast and try to get through as much story as I can. Anyways, I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!